Hey, Glenn here. This is a different kind of video. It's not about carpentry or really about mental well-being, although I suppose it is about things that can stress you out. Right at this moment, my Google account has been hacked and I don't have access to it, which means that I don't have my Gmail, years and years worth of emails in there. I don't have my Google Documents, which contain a lot of important things, including some stuff that I'm currently writing for publication, and I have, agreements to honor. I don't have all my photos, and I have more than one YouTube channel, and I don't have those. Someone has basically stolen my account and taken control of it. Oh boy. And how did this happen? If you want to know, keep listening, I'll tell you. And you can follow my progress on getting this issue sorted. So it happened because I got an email from someone who I kind of know. I now assume that his Google account has been hacked because it came from his Gmail. This person is an academic, a scholar who writes things for publication. I have collaborated with this person in the past. And the email looked like, on the face of it, he was pitching a new writing project and inviting me to submit maybe a chapter or something for it, which is plausible. It's the kind of thing I've done before. So it didn't look like a suspicious email. And I clicked on the link in it to go and look at this invitation. And just after that is where I should have noticed that something was wrong. Because I was in my Gmail on my browser, so I was signed into my Google account, but when I clicked, I was taken to a page that said that I needed to log into my Google account to view this document, which was on Google Drive. Now, Google Drive is a sensible place to store shared documents, but I should have said to myself, hang on, why would I need to sign in when I'm already signed in? But it was at that point that I accidentally gave away my credentials. Shortly after that, I got a notification to say that changes were being made to my Google account. I got an email to say that a passkey had been added to my account. I also got a notification on my Google app to say that this change had been made. I believe it was that change. And I clicked the button that said, this wasn't me. But I think I may have noticed the notification too late because I'm not always staring at my phone screen. Because it said this notification has expired, which seems crazy. Because it wasn't a huge amount of time. But I said it wasn't me, but it was too late for me to say that it wasn't me. I began to go through the account recovery process because I found that I couldn't access anything that involved my Google account. And the options that I was presented with all seemed to suppose that I was just aware that someone else was accessing my account and I needed to stop them from doing that. So I was invited to enter my password. That didn't work. I was invited to enter a code from the Google Authenticator app. That code wasn't accepted. I was then invited to supply an 8-digit backup code. I had never heard of such a thing. I now know that they exist, but most people have never heard of these things. Because I wasn't able to provide any of that information, Google said, sorry, we can't prove that it's you, so you don't get access to this account. And that was that. And for most people, that would be the end of it. If you aren't a YouTuber, if you just have a Google account for your Gmail, all your photos, all your documents, that would be it. You would have no recourse. That would be a lost account forever. My research has led me down the path, which looks promising at the moment, that says, since I actually have a couple of monetized YouTube accounts, and those monetized channels are this one, The People's Carpenter, and also Monster Guitars, where I build electric guitars, YouTube, rather than Google in general, but YouTube in particular, may be interested in helping me. And the way that you contact them, which was a surprise and kind of strange, is on X, formerly known as Twitter. They have an account there called Team YouTube. And so that's the process that I'm going through at the moment. I started following them, which is what you must do, which is what enables them to message you, I think. Shout them out in a post, tag them, which I did, to say, hey look, I'm kind of desperate here, here's my situation. Someone has stolen my Google account and now I can't access my monetized YouTube channels. And after a few hours, it's a bit frustrating because of the time difference. I'm in New Zealand. I assume they're in America, maybe, I don't know. They replied and said, hey, sorry to hear you're going through that. Here's a link to the account recovery, Google account recovery process. If that doesn't work, come back here and we'll see what we can do. And I had just finished trying to go through that process in the manner I just described, and so I said, yeah, I've gone through that, and whoever's stolen my account has changed enough information that that I can't get in. Oh, and I should have mentioned another method that I was offered too, to use a passkey, which meant inserting a USB stick. I've never done that before. And so they then they sent me a private message on X, which is encouraging. And they said, could you share with us your YouTube channel URLs, the links to your channels, so we can look at this more closely. That's where I'm at right now. I've sent them links. I've also told them my computer IP address so that they'll be able to see, okay, Glenn's been logging in. He's in New Zealand. I mentioned that I'm in New Zealand. Oh, there's someone else logging in from a different country. So hopefully that information will be useful. I'm going to update this video when something else happens. This will be a big loss if I can't get my Google account back. It's funny, man, so much of your life is wrapped up in a digital identity if you've been using it for some years. All the contacts that I have established in regard to work, agents, goodness. Anyway, let's see what happens. So I'm here at my desk, just looking through my YouTube channels to see if anything's been done to them. I see on the Monster Guitars YouTube channel, all my normal videos are here. But then the most recent, the most recent 15 videos are all about how to download somebody's game mods. A fellow on Instagram messaged me because he had downloaded one of these game mods, not from my channel, but just from someone else who tricked him into doing so, and installed it, and thereby lost access to his Google account. And he messaged me because he'd gone searching for these mods, found some on this channel of mine, and wanted to know if I was in the same situation. Kind of yes, but kind of no. But this person is obviously very active. I haven't yet heard back from Team YouTube. It's the same day of the earlier message about being in this situation. It's just the evening of that same day. Still no updates. Let's keep waiting. It's the following evening, almost 2 days now, since I messaged Team YouTube about this, and to date the only thing I have from them is their initial private message, direct message on X, inviting me to share the YouTube channels that I have. They haven't followed up with any response yet. Now that might be normal. I don't know how long this typically takes. Nonetheless, it is stressful. It is anxiety inducing. There is a lot at stake. So I'm trying to keep myself busy. Okay, it has been almost 4 days. This is a somewhat concerning and anxiety inducing process, and a much longer one than is desirable. I'll say more about that at the end. But in their direct message on X, Team YouTube have now given me the link to a form for account recovery. In order to do this, you will need a backup email address. I've created another Gmail address. I'm not sure if it has to be Gmail or not, but that's what you'll use when you log into this form. So let's see how we go. Okay, completing the form was relatively harmless. According to that message that I was sent in X by Team YouTube, I should receive a follow-up within 1 business day. Let's see how we go, because time frame has been the real drag here. Like I said earlier, I try to keep myself busy while I wait. Now that I've submitted the form, I kind of feel a little bit better, like I have this confidence that things are going to happen, but there's still some waiting involved. Keep yourself busy when you would otherwise just be sitting there worrying about stuff. I look a bit messy. I've just had a shower. Okay, so it's 2 days after I got the email asking me to fill in the form, which I did. Now, part of the reason it's 2 days is that there is a time zone difference between me and the United States. It might not actually take that long. But I've received another email saying that they've confirmed that my channel was hijacked. So at least it's been disabled now and taken out of the hands of that other person, which is some relief. And they've invited me to go through the account recovery process, which I'll try now. Well, that didn't last long. The recovery form asked me to enter the email address of the account that I'm trying to recover, and then it said, okay, we've sent a verification code to this email address. They know that the whole reason I'm going through this process is that I can't access that account. So I clicked try another way, and I reached the termination message immediately that said, sorry, you didn't provide enough information, so we can't let you in. How stupid was that? So I emailed them back and told them this, and now we continue to wait. And so I continue to stay busy, finishing off these garden boxes. One more little update. Although that link did not work, and it was ridiculous for that link to be offered to me, there was another link I didn't initially notice called Special Account Recovery. However, I just entered the email address again, and again it sent a verification code to that email address. But this time, when I clicked try another way, it asked for an alternative email address on which they could contact me later about this request. So I did that. It's an unusual process. I have thoughts about how the process should have gone from the beginning, but I'll share those at the end, assuming I get this resolved. It's the following morning, but it's only the following morning because we live in different countries from Google, well I do. But after completing that special recovery form, I've now been sent a link that does look like the final proper step, inviting me to reset my password and then giving me all the obvious advice about logging in again from all my devices and securing my account, which I will be doing, and I'll just note the steps that I'm taking to re-secure my account. But it looks good. Looks good. We're finally there, I believe. Let's find out. My goodness, it's a fine, lovely day, but it's cold and crunchy underfoot. -1 degree. -1 degree Celsius. Well, the link was effective. I've changed my password. My Google account is back in my hands. I went through all the security steps. I set up two-factor authentication. I am just about to obtain the 8-digit codes so that I can help myself if I get into this situation again, which I hope I never do. And right now I'm deleting those awful spammy videos from my YouTube accounts. There's more than one involved. Wow, that's a relief. Okay, I'll debrief in just a moment. So I do have some thoughts about this whole thing. Many, some of which I will fail to remember just now. Number one, it's really striking to me that if you just have a Google account and a Gmail address, even if a huge amount of your life is invested in that because you use your Google account to log into many services and you have countless emails, some of which are very important, possibly for business purposes, and you have lots of important documents and photos and videos backed up, if your account gets hacked and you lose access to it, there just is no method by which you can get it back. I mean, Google is capable of restoring it to you, but they won't. That's the end of it, as far as I can tell. Unless you are a sort of partner with them, like I am, to a very small degree, in that I have YouTube channels and they are monetized. That actually strikes me as kind of shocking. And I know some might say, well, look, Google provides its services for free. Yeah, that's true, but Google benefits by its existence. It isn't a charity. And I don't think it's I mean, you imagine if it was a bank, for example, and they say, look, if your account gets stolen and people start using what you have, we'll help you if you're rich. And if we're more financially interested in you, then we'll come to your assistance. But if you've just got a few bucks in the bank, we don't want to know. No, that's no good. You set up a service, then you wear the fact that some people are freeloaders and some people are more valuable to you, but you're providing the service to all of them. It seems unacceptable to me that assistance is only available to the extent that Google is financially interested in you. The process really shouldn't have been this long. You know, it's almost 6 days since this all began. If there was a recovery process for all Google users that gave you the opportunity to enter quite a lot of information if you have it, things like what is your phone number, because it may have been changed, but in the history they know what it was. Enter a previous password or the last password that you used. Enter your previous backup email address, which you can then verify when they send a code to that backup email address. You know, this information exists in Google's database, and they could be using all of these things just to build up a stronger cumulative case that this really is your account. But in my case, those options weren't presented to me, even though they could have been. It strikes me that this was unnecessarily long. Especially if you rely on your Google account on a daily basis, as so many of us do. I think there should be something like insurance here. So it would be optional. But I think if people were offered the opportunity to pay, say, even just a couple of bucks a month, they would do it. If it meant that when this situation arose, they could get back into their account and there would be a premium service and there would actually be an immediate Google support that they could contact in the case of a hacked account, because there isn't at the moment. And I don't think that would create such a huge demand for Google. Just like insurance generally, it works because most people who have it don't need it. Right? It's a just-in-case feature. But say it was just $2 or $3 a month, millions and millions of people would choose that, and so quite a substantial sum of money would be generated by it. Certainly enough to employ a large team or teams of people who just handle these cases. And as I say, most of the people who pay for this insurance aren't going to get their accounts hacked, because most people don't get their accounts hacked. But yeah, now that I have my account back, I have gone through all of the steps quite carefully. I've set up two-factor authentication. I have obtained my 8-digit codes. I've made sure that, well, some of the other things I had already, like a backup email address and a passcode, which in this case was just using my screen lock. But also, look, and I know you hear this many times, be careful with your Google account. This was quite an intelligent, or maybe they just got lucky in the sense that this hacking attempt looked plausible to me because of my life circumstances. You know, this opportunity to submit something and collaborate. But it was unexpected. I should have contacted the person who sent this to me another way and say, hey, I wasn't expecting to see this. Did you send this to me? You've really got to be careful, because so much of your life these days is tied up in a digital identity. But anyway, I have removed all of the rubbish from my accounts. I'm back to a sense of normality with an additional dose of wisdom. Maybe this is just God teaching me, hey man, you need to be more careful with your life. Maybe it is, and fair enough, I've learned that lesson. But we're back on track now. Be careful with your stuff out there, man. Guard it, because even though you didn't pay for it, it's a valuable asset. Okay, back to normality, or something close to it.